Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. A little over a week ago, one of the editors on Craig of the Creek, Mark T. Collins, took to Reddit to announce that the Craig of the Creek movie has finished production, and so we should be seeing it at some point in the not too distant future. The movie was slated for a 2023 release window, and we only really have 2 more weeks in November, then all of December for it to come out, so maybe we'll see it by the end of this year. I highly doubt it though. We'll probably see it at some point, in my opinion, in 2024, maybe within the first quarter of the year. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that within the comment section of his Reddit post, someone mentioned Jessica's Big Little World, and they were saying that they hope it gets renewed for another season. And Mark T. Collins said there won't be any more episodes, I'm afraid. And another Redditor commented saying that they were confused, thinking that the rest of Craig of the Creek Season 5 had been cancelled, but MTC3000, Mark T. Collins, that's his handle, he goes on to say, I was replying that there won't be any more Jessica episodes after the 20 that have been made. The new regime doesn't want to do preschool shows. And yeah, we seemingly have confirmation from someone who works at Cartoon Network Studios that the new hierarchy doesn't want to do preschool shows anymore. So that would seemingly confirm the end of Cartoonito on Cartoon Network. It might not be something that happens in the immediate future, but Cartoonito's days seem to be numbered. And I really find this whole situation to be rather interesting regarding Cartoonito, because it's kind of crazy to think about it. In 2021 in February was when it was first announced, I believe, and we just saw how it quickly led to the downfall of Cartoonito once it launched that fall. It went from having, what was it, like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. the airtime, which was absurd to begin with. I couldn't believe that it was taking up that much of Cartoon Network's airtime, and now it has an hour and a half of day of airtime, and it used to be on the weekends. Now it's done on the weekends. So we've seen over the past few years that Cartoonito's, it's had its downfall on Cartoon Network. It never really got off on the right foot, so to speak. It was always something that was kind of destined to fail from the start, whether you like the block or not. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it because I don't really, have a reason to watch preschool shows. I don't have any kids who are preschoolers, so I'm not really interested in that marketplace. And I feel like, honestly, the whole reason why Cartoonito was created in the first place, and I've said this before in other videos, is that the reason you want to get kids at a young age, the preschool audiences, to watch your preschool programming is because you want to introduce them to your IPs at a younger age, so that when they get older, they have that brand recognition, so that, for example, when they watch Bugs Bunny's Builders, they see, oh, I watch Bugs Bunny Builders, I'm gonna watch the new Looney Tunes show. Or, hey, I've seen Jessica's Big Little World, so in 5 years from now, they're gonna be like, oh, there's another show in that universe called Craig of the Creek, I'm gonna check that show out, and so on and so on. These preschool shows are meant to be a way to kind of, I don't want to say brainwash children today, because that kind of comes off the wrong way, but it's kind of used in a way to brainwash children to watch your IPs as they get older. That's what their main purpose is, at least in the realm of Cartoon Network. Of course, the case is different with other brands, such as Nick Jr. They have a lot of unique shows that I remember watching as I grew up, like Max and Ruby. They had the Backyardigans. They had the, Oslo, the one with the octopus. Those obviously don't tie into any other IPs, but that's the way Cartoon Network was using it. That's the way Warner Brothers Discovery, their plan was, or Warner Media at the time, I should say, their plan was to use Cartoonito as a way to introduce kids to their properties at a younger age so that they return to them and have that brand recognition as they get older. Here's the problem with that plan. On multiple levels there, it's flawed, but the big problem with that plan is that in order for a kid who's a preschooler today to then, as they grow older, have that brand recognition and say, oh, I want to check out the more mature version of that preschool show I watched, you'd actually have to produce stuff that's more mature for them to watch. And that's something that they haven't really been doing with a lot of these properties. Like, for example, we'll just use the Looney Tunes as an example. I know that Tiny Toons Looniversity is on, but that has, in my opinion, received some mixed reviews. I didn't like it, I know that much. And you don't really have anything for people to grasp onto as an older audience when it comes to the Looney Tunes. But you have Bugs Bunny Builders. What seemed to happen with Cartoonito and this whole preschool block in general is Cartoon Network, and this was Tom Ashing's regime, so that's where, if you want to point fingers at somebody, it's their regime that came up with this. But the Tom Ashing regime seemed to put a lot more resources into the preschool programming than they were with Cartoon Network's programming. I know that shows like Unicorn Wars Eternal, My Adventures with Superman, Batman Cape Crusader, they were all supposed to premiere on Cartoon Network. Obviously none of them did, but nevertheless, still, if you take a look at Cartoon Network today, despite the fact that those 3 shows were supposed to premiere on the channel, they still don't have a whole lot to go off of. There's still not a lot of content on Cartoon Network, and the big mistake, as I said before, was that they went too deeply into this preschool block, kind of foregoing making content for Cartoon Network. And as MTC says in his comment, they are this new regime that is no longer going to be producing preschool content, which in my opinion, I feel like is the good move. I think that the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery has such a bad financial situation going on right now, they probably shouldn't be focusing on preschool content. I understand that yes, it is cheaper to produce. It's not exactly this, you know, really high budget show that's going to take a lot of years and money to develop. It's something that can be thrown together quickly for a rather low budget, but at the same time, I feel like you're not really getting the returns on that you would as opposed to, let's just hypothetically say, like the next big Looney Tunes. Let's say they brought back the Looney Tunes show for a 3rd season. I think that would bring bigger returns in than Bugs Bunny Builders. I know Bat Wheels is apparently rather popular. I think that's like the premier show that they've made in the preschool realm. Again, I'm not the right person to be asking about that, but from what I've seen, you know, marketing wise, it seems like that's the show they've been pushing the most. And I feel like, okay, what would do better, Bat Wheels or Batman Cape Crusader? Which one's gonna bring you in more money? And I think the obvious answer is Batman Cape Crusader. So yes, they attempted this preschool thing. Yes, it failed. Is it inherently a bad idea? No, I don't think so. I don't think making preschool content is a bad idea at all. I think it's just the way they handled it, the way they went about it. Putting it on Cartoon Network in the first place was a bad idea. Prioritizing it over Cartoon Network was an even bigger bad idea. Everything that came after that, coupled with the fact that we saw Cartoonito lose more and more airtime as the days and months passed, it was kind of doomed from the start. And, you know, for me, I'm not really upset about that, but I feel bad for the people who maybe watch this channel. And if you do have kids, let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed watching Cartoonito with them, because believe it or not, there is a market for this. I'm not a part of that market, but just because I'm not doesn't mean there's no market, and just because you aren't doesn't mean there's no market again. But anyways, it seems like Cartoonito's days are numbered, and it will probably, in my opinion, be completely terminated from Cartoon Network's library within the next year or so, if that long, honestly. So yeah, Cartoonito's days are numbered. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the whole Cartoonito situation now that it looks like it's going to be ending, and just the way they handled it from the get-go? Do you agree with me that it's not inherently a bad idea, but the way they handled it was just very, very poor? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.